franchise mode. That was going to be a cool intro, but it ended up not being that cool, unfortunately. So let me just tweet out the link to the stream. Alright, so we got Kane's Twitter franchise mode. Link has been tweeted. Boom. We're ready to go. Welcome. This is the 2034-2035 season. Craziness. So here are the lines. We have Will Looper down to an 88 actually, which is a little crazy. I did kind of mess with the lines a little bit. Um, Harvey Bootland, our franchise potential center, is now 90 overall, which is really awesome. And then we have Andrei Svechnikov, who is at age 34 is still up there. Great stuff to hear. We've got Timothy Rabbit, Gabriel O'Sullivan, I don't know, and then Joseph McCarron, which is awesome to see. We have Cade Purcell. He was signed this offseason. I needed another winger. One of the guys didn't want to sign. Pretty solid. He actually had a really good year last year, with 55 points. So that's really good to hear. And we have Ryan Suzuki, who's down from an 87 to an 85 at age 33. This tells me that he'll probably retire at age 35. Typically, players who have this kind of career path do. Jyrki Laaksonen is back, and then Oliver Moberg is another new player. Pretty much just like, a career bottom six forward, not really all that great. He's actually mostly been in the AHL for his career, but, cool stuff. Sebastian Aho down to a 79 overall. I'm hoping that he, at least gets a few more points. Sitting at 1391, as long as he gets 9 points and hits 1400, I think that he'll be set for the Hall of Fame. Pretty much a lock. At least in my book, he's a Hall of Famer. And then Junior Gehring, I believe this is a new prospect. Yeah, actually has not played. He's spent the past 2 seasons in Charlotte. He was a 4th-round pick of the Islanders, and the Islanders did not sign him, so we picked him up. And then defense now, I did sign Antti Tukkonen. He is a new player for the team. I needed a defenseman, and I think I let like 1 or 2 go, so big addition there. Former first-round pick of Dallas. He's been a career star up until that point. Meg, Nokalainen, Michael Goodrow. Pereira is still on the team. Then I did get rid of one of my third-pairing defenders and brought in Tate Iliakis. He was actually a prospect, now that I think about it. So who knows? It might work. I hope everybody is doing okay. We're going to go ahead and send to December 1st. See what happens. But yes, I do hope that everybody is doing okay. Quarantine's starting to get to us all, I think. But, the important thing is that we stay strong and that we, can just get through this. Hopefully, it'll be all over soon. But if not, we're just going to have to keep fighting. Alright. So nothing too crazy going on. I've been looking for different ways to spend my time, so I did come back to Kane's Twitter franchise mode after a pretty long hiatus, I'd say. And I played through Uncharted 4, let's see, last week? A couple of days ago, actually, now that I think about it. And just, I had forgotten how phenomenal that game was. I forgot to hire a Russian scout. I realize that now. I think I'd be better off just not hiring a second Russian scout, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But yeah, Uncharted 4, phenomenal game. It's been quite a few years since its release, at least 2 or 3 years since it was released, and it's still so good. Um, Highly recommend picking that up if you have a PlayStation. It is the free game of April, and I would also recommend getting the Nathan Drake collection as well, because really all four of the Uncharted games are great. It's worth playing through all of them at least once. I've played through Uncharted 2 twice, maybe 3 times, and I played through Uncharted 3 for the second time last week. They don't take up too much space either. In Uncharted 4, there's so much to do. The multiplayer is still pretty fun. It's different, but it's still pretty fun, I would say. So Nico Kapanen is projected to go first overall for now. We have no report on him so far. I am gonna just scout him right away. I do want to see what's going on. Another good year for Russians, or at least players playing in Russia. There are 3 Russian prospects in the top 6. No Canadians in the top 7. First actual Canadian is right winger at pick 8 overall. There is one playing in the queue, but he's an American, so. Alright. So nothing going on so far. No gems, no nothing. It's alright, not too bad. Pretty decent start to the season. 420, nice. I hate myself. 3 straight wins, though. That's pretty good. Even if they are against Detroit and Ottawa. We do lose to Colorado. Yeah, this is pretty much how I expected. I do think, wow, Anaheim sucks. And we lose! The team always has slow starts. I expect, this team got better in certain areas, but I think that Suzuki going down from an 87 to an 85 really hurt the team, and I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't upgrade the forwards as much because I thought that we'd be fine, but Suzuki regressing it gives me a little bit of a reason to panic. Columbus already fires their coach, Nicholas Petrie. So Columbus clearly not doing well. Yeah, last in the division, no wins yet. They're 0-9-1. So Columbus fires their coach. Aho's out with a bruised arm. We'll go best lines for now. But yeah, Aho out for a little bit, so we'll have to wait and see if he does hit that 1,400 point mark. And yeah, Anaheim, they had a bad start to the year. I'm not surprised that they fired their coach as well, but 2 coach firings. I don't think we saw one until the last day of the season when Montreal fired their coach. Aho's back. We're going to check the lines because they are a little whack. No, they seem to be okay. Why is Suzuki on the 4th line? That's odd. Okay. That's odd. But you know what? That's okay. And then we'll have Aho here. That's fine. Okay. Cool. So 5-4 overtime win against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now we're starting to string together some wins and at least points. We had a 3-game win streak. It was snapped, and then we've won 2 games after that shootout loss. So we're starting to string together some wins and some points, which is really good. And an overtime loss, so we do lose both of our games to Minnesota outside of regulation. Pretty cool. Igor Zaitsev is out for Charlotte. Charlotte is rough this year, to say the least. I tried stacking their roster. A lot of prospects didn't want to sign, so I kind of had to get rid of a few guys. And Colorado firing their coach, Hector Ludwig. Created names. You're so funny. 2 straight losses, though. We do get a revenge game coming up against Tampa. Finishing out the month with games against Tampa, Philly, and Buffalo. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. And we win. Okay, so we get the revenge game against Tampa, and we win by a score of 3-1. And second in the division, though, not too bad, but we are, it's a tight race, but that beating the Flyers really helps. And then, can we beat the Sabres, please? Yes, we do. We do beat the Sabres. So, December 1st, and Zaitsev is back for Charlotte. How's Charlotte doing? 11-9-1. Not in a playoff spot, but they are actually better than I expected them to be. Their forward core is not good. Timothy Rabbit, selfishly, with 15 goals and only 5 assists. That leads the team. So offense is definitely down this year for the team. Bootland with 14 points, only 2 goals. Seems like this team needs another goal scorer, possibly. We have a lot of guys with high assist totals, but nobody really, other than Rabbit, nobody's really tearing it up in terms of goals. But it is still early. Will with another solid year. Svetch again, obviously a pretty solid season. Let's see. Yeah, he is probably a Hall of Fame player as well, and probably has quite a few more years. Sebastian Aho is 1 point away from 1400. So I'm thinking we sim until Aho gets that point that he needs. Hopefully it'll be a goal. That would be really cool. It'd be really cool for Aho to get that. First period. Gehring. Ooh, that might actually be good. He's on the 4th line. Aho may have hit 1400. Rabbit with 2 goals, and Will Looper with a goal. Second period, tie game. Third period, Gehring scores again. Heading to a shootout, and Nashville wins in the shootout. All events. Sebastian Aho has hit 1,400 points with his assist on Gehring's goal, so I was correct. Did he hit it on the last? Okay, so Aho actually had 3 points in this game. It looks like... Yeah, 3 points for Sebastian Aho. 3 assists, so he's now at 1402. So congrats to Aho. Huge milestone for him in this sim. Definitely one of the best Hurricanes to ever be a Hurricane. When this is all said and done, obviously there's going to be Ron Francis, probably the best Hurricane there ever was, / Whaler, because of the points and everything. But he wasn't a career Hurricane. He was a Penguin as well, and briefly a Toronto Maple Leaf. So I don't know why I continued simming. Well, congrats to Rabbit and Laxonen on scoring, and Bootland as well. Yay, Bootland. But yeah, so you put Aho up there for guys who are exclusively associated with the Hurricanes. Just for the sake of this franchise mode, I mean, there's Brind'Amour and there's Aho, and there's going to be Svetch, and Aho's got to be better than Brind'Amour just based on points, and I mean, he did win more cups as well, so I think he's also been the captain for a long time. So good stuff. We do know that Kapanen is a medium elite sniper, also a right winger. Oh, thank goodness. There's a gem defenseman in this draft, and I looked today. My defensive depth is some trash. It's so bad. So we're going to try and... I'm going to scout this guy. I want to see what it is. Late round pick, so probably not all that great. And then Brendan Elliott as well. We'll also get a potential in comparison on him. So, cool. Those are some good draft rankings. I'm happy about that. I'm happy to see that there is a gem defenseman that I could take. Svetch is out with a mild concussion until the 17th. So, pretty long time, actually. About a week and a half, little over that. But we've strung together another 3-game win streak. I believe we were first in the division. I think I saw that come up. Beating the Rangers helps, because I think the Rangers were one of the better teams in the division. And we went against Pittsburgh, so we're not. It's the Capitals that we need to beat, and the next game against the Capitals is January 6th, I see. Shootout loss to San Jose. Notice quite a couple shootout losses this season. Overtime win, though. Actually, 3 of our overtime losses have been in the shootout. Svetch is back. And the team did well with the best lines that we were rolling. So let's see, let's just see what happens. Big win against Vancouver, too, again. So, 3 wins in a row. Okay. Pretty good point streak, too. We haven't lost a game in regulation in quite some time. But of course, now that I said that, we'll lose to Columbus in regulation. Maybe not. 8-22-3. No, we crushed them. 4-0. Nice. Actually, the Rangers aren't doing as well as I thought they were this season. It's the Hurricanes, Capitals, Devils, and then the Rangers are in a wild card spot. But this is a pretty impressive win streak. We are at 6 wins right now after that win on the back-to-back on the road. Finishing up the road trip in New York, and we win 4-1. And let's just keep the wins rolling. Why not? 8-game win streak here with that win against Tampa. And that's going to take us into the new year now against Montreal. Montreal's still not very good, even after firing their coach last year, so maybe it wasn't the coaching. Player named Taylor and Drysdale heading to Colorado. Pittsburgh gets 2 second-round picks, so Pittsburgh gets a little worse. We have 1 game coming up against them in January. 8-game win streak does conclude against Montreal at home. You win some, you lose some. But it's looking like hopefully my man Harvey Bootland is achieving his greatest, or at achieving at a high clip, because I really want him to succeed. I think he was a Wayne Gretzky comparison, and I think we gave up quite a bit to get him. So, haven't won in a little while. 4-game skid here. We have gotten points in the last 2 games, but hopefully that can end. This skid can end. No, it can't. 5-game losing streak here. Heading into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is tanking a little bit. If not tanking, they are selling. And we win 5-1. So, okay, good way to break a losing streak with a nice 5-1 win. And we get another win the next night. There we go. Another shootout loss, man. This team doesn't have finishers. They can't. I mean, like, I can't think of any other explanation. They just can't score in the shootout. Whatever. So we'll check the draft rankings now. Not too much probably has changed. Yeah, nothing too crazy. We'll check gems and busts again to see what happens. Still the same gems. This guy is a low top 6 forward, so I probably won't draft him. Our scouts think very highly of him, which means that Central Scouting will probably put him in the high 60s when it's all said and done. Still don't know too much about Todd Riddle. We'll get another potential and comparison going on him. He just hasn't played all that often, so hopefully, he'll be like a low elite defenseman as opposed to a low top 4D, because that doesn't really help my team out at all. Second in the division, 1 point behind Washington, with a 30-11-7 record at the deadline. Speaking of making the defense better, I see the top 6D, the exact. Sandin's 34. 81 overall doesn't really help me. I have a 78 overall on the back end. He doesn't really fit anywhere else either. I'm not really looking at that trade and going, man, this is what changes things. Also, Nico Hischier giving up 2 first-round picks is dumb. Montreal gets 2 NHL players. Dallas gets an NHL player as well. Seems just kind of like a lateral move for both teams. Dallas gets the better right winger. Montreal gets the better defenseman, and Dallas gets a pick as well, but in next year's draft. So, all right, last game before we stop. For now, it's Boston, and we lose 4-3. So that's the last game after the All-Star break. We're going to sim to the deadline. We're going to sim to the very last game of the deadline. Or the game before the deadline. If you'll excuse me, I didn't mean. I don't see a point in that. I think the team's okay. We're 30-12-7. I'm not looking to win a cup. I'm not looking to add. It might be nice to try and win a cup with Aho in his last season, but definitely losing a lot more games than I'd like now. We are stringing together some losses. Bit of a streaky team, despite like the big win total that you see. 8-3 win against Dallas. My goodness. Which is interesting because their defense got worse. And a 2-1 loss. See, like, I don't like that. But whatever. Can we beat Edmonton? Can we beat the Oilers in this game? We can. 3-2 overtime win. Okay. So, I think pretty much now, I think we just need to play like a touch above 500 and we'll be fine. I see this game against Pittsburgh and it makes me a little happy because they're not very good. And we win 2-0. Nice shutout win. Playing against New Jersey. And New Jersey... it's a pretty good team in this division as well. And we lose to New Jersey. And they're a good bit behind us, but I'd still like to see wins against Metro teams. But again, following up a loss with a win, which I like to see. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Ottawa's actually doing really well this season in this game, which is good for them. But 2 straight losses there, not very good. Actually, only 3 goals in those 2 games, too, so not great. Klim Kostin heading to Colorado along with Backman. Vancouver gets a first-round pick and a pretty decent prospect from the looks of it. I feel like a guy like Kostin could fetch, like a decent prospect, but I think he's like 34, 35 in this game, so maybe even 36 at this point. Jensen and Myers heading to Edmonton. Ottawa gets some NHL players to kind of load up for their Stanley Cup push, and every created player should be 32, 33, maybe 34 at this point. No, they'll be 33, I'm pretty sure. So the trade deadline's almost upon us. If I get another trade offer, I'll just show you guys, but it doesn't look like I will get one. We're playing against the 6th worst team in the division. Oh, I don't know why I'm sitting. We'll go to the very end of the season, with the last game of the season being against Montreal. I'm pretty confident that we're a playoff team. O'Sullivan's out with a sprained ankle for about a week and a half. Charlotte loses Cade Henry. Well, that's what you get for being named Cade. I'm sorry. Cade Henry's back. O'Sullivan's actually back a little earlier. Ooh, that's way earlier than I'd like. Yeah, he's out again. I don't like that. We had a 4-game win streak that was snapped with a loss against Philly, and then we won against Philly, and then we lost 2 straight games. Yeah, he's still back really early. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt again. Central Scouting releasing their rankings, so we should know most about, or like, mostly what's going on. Hopefully low elite. Okay, I like it. Possibly. I still want to continue scouting this guy. He's played 5 games since in the past 2 months, but still just these 2 gems in this draft, which I don't love. Hopefully we can find at least 1 or 2 more gems. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of have to pick whoever, and I don't really want to do that. We lost 4 straight games. Nokalainen's out with injured ribs, but we did win. We have won 3 straight games since that 4-game losing streak. Again, a very streaky team. We have yet to clinch we just clinched the playoffs. I always do that. Alakis is out with post-concussion syndrome. I must call up a defenseman for my AHL team, so he's out for the rest of the season. And he's a defenseman. Jeez. I don't have many good defensemen, so we'll call up pricing, I guess. Yeah, that's not very good. Yeah, that's bad. Nokalainen's out, or he's back. Nokalainen's back, so that's good. Mikko Noranen is back for Charlotte. 47, 26, and 8. We are a playoff team, as you saw, but we will sim. Hopefully we can get win number 48 on this season. And Gehring gets a goal. And he's scored in the games we've simmed. He's actually done pretty well. We get a goal from Purcell here. And then Canes win. Aho, Goodrow, and Looper. So Aho scores in the final regular season game, potentially, of his career. It's possible that he will want to continue playing after this, but, you know, we're just going to call it the final regular season game because he's 37 and this is his last year on his 2-year contract. So Canes versus Rangers in the playoffs. Svech, oh no, he didn't lead the team. Rabbit led the team, 80 points, so pretty solid season. Booland with 77 points, nice. And remember, this guy just turned 20. 65 assists, that's crazy. And then 12 goals, which is a career high, but still, that's kind of insane. Rabbit led the team in goals with 52. That might be good enough at age 29 to get him the Rocket Richard. Will with a very nice 69 points. Svech with 72. Other good performers. Purcell, the player we signed in free agency, 42 points. That's not too bad. Aho had 37 points. He had as many points for as many years old that he is. That's kind of funny. For sure, his lowest point totals, I think, of his career. What? He never spent time in the AHL. That's just not right. Okay. I don't know why that's there, but yeah, that's the lowest. 37 points. It's the lowest numbers of points he's had at the NHL level, or just in his career, but still probably a Hall of Fame career. Actually, he hit 900 assists this year, which is really cool. That's a cool milestone to hit. So awesome. Really cool. Game 1 of the playoffs. Let's try and win Sebastian Aho. I didn't mean to hit play game, sorry. Let's try and win Sebastian Aho a Stanley Cup. Send him out strong. Nothing in the first period. Second period, Rabbit and Moberg get goals. Moberg scoring the first goal for the Hurricanes in this playoffs on Cameron Bass. And the Canes win. Tukinen, Svechnikov, and Goodrow score. So definitely, you know, a mixed bag of players scoring here. But Canes win 5-1. Svech with 2 points in that game. And we'll go to game 2 in Raleigh. Shoot, I didn't mean to hit that. We'll go to game 2 in Raleigh now. Winnipeg leads their series 2-0. Alright, nothing going there. Boom. Aho scores a playoff goal, and Bootland scores as well. McCarron gets a goal, and that's it. 3-1 is your final. I did mean to check, so if you'll excuse me just for a second. Svech did get another point in that game. I meant to check how old Will was. So every player is now 33. So we'll have 2 more seasons before players start to retire. You know, typically I've noticed the cutoff for players retiring is right around 35. So that's when we'll start to see players retiring. So that'll be interesting to keep up with. And once everybody retires, that'll be the end of this franchise mode. And then I might take a couple days to relax and not play NHL for a little bit. And then we'll start up a new series. Perret scoring. I hope that's how I pronounce this person's name, but he is a creative player. Goodrow and Bootland scoring as well for the Canes. Bootland scoring from behind the net, so that's interesting. And then O'Sullivan scoring as well. Canes win 4-2. They are 1 win away from sweeping the New York Rangers. But this is how you know it's a simulation. Wow, Svech had 3 points. Is because the Hurricanes never win at MSG. So that's how you know this is not real. O'Sullivan scoring and Svechnikov as well. So Svech is having a monstrous series. Give him another one. And then Bootland scoring as well. Capo Caco prevents the shutout, but unfortunately the Rangers have been eliminated. But fortunately for us, we are one step closer to giving Aho that Stanley Cup. Another 3 points for Svechnikov, man. What a series he had. The Flames advance as well, as do the Vegas Golden Knights. And we'll just continue. Looks like the Devils advanced as well, so it should be Canes versus Devils. I can't see anything else. It's all moving too fast. So it's going to be Canes versus Caps. That's going to be Canes, Caps, Bruins, Devils, Jets and Blues, and then Knights and Flames. First period, game 1. It's tie game. McCarron scores for the Carolina Hurricanes. Second period, Canes take the lead. Will with 2 goals here, so he's on a hat trick watch. And third period, Gehring scores. And so that's nothing. I just wanted to make sure, but that's not important. It was a Twitter notification. Like, anytime I get a Twitter notification, I'm like, please tell me something happened with hockey, and nothing happens with hockey. So that Svetch had another point in that game. Game 2, Canes up 1-0, and then the Caps take the lead with Bollig's goal. Second period, Canes tie it thanks to Michael Goodrow, and Canes win. Rabbit and Laxonen score, and that is all she wrote. So Laxonen gets the game winner. Svetch again, 2 points in that game. He's on fire. Game 3, we are finally playing in Raleigh. First time in 4 games that we've played at home, and the Canes come back in a big way. Gehring, Perret, and Rabbit score. So 2 depth players pitching in for the Canes, and then Rabbit scoring as well. Second period, Goodrow and Suzuki scoring. And Suzuki's first of the playoffs, and then Rabbit gets his second of the game. 6-1 final. 1 second. So we do lose Walker Perret for the rest of the season thanks to an MCL sprain, so he is done. We lost our third pair for the rest of the season, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Svetch had 3 points in that game. I'm serious, he's been on fire. Game 4, Canes could sweep the Caps as well. Game 4, 1-0. Bradley does score for the Caps. Second period, still a 1-goal lead for the Caps. Ald scores? I'm not entirely sure who this guy is, but congrats to him on your first playoff goal. Third period, Canes tie it. Goodrow scores. He's having a great season, or a great playoffs. I don't remember if he had that great of a season, but great season. Great playoffs, oh my god. And we're heading to overtime. Yeah, our defense definitely took a hit. It was around like an 89 to a 90, and now it's an 85 because we've lost 2 starting defensemen. Which was crazy. So here's the start of the game in overtime. There we go. Kapitanov with the puck turns it over to Bootland, and he gets crushed. Everybody's just falling all over the place here. Number 13 carrying it up. He's got a lane to... Oh, what a miss by Knights there. Svechnikov's going to pick it up, and Svetch has it and dishes it out to Rabbit. Timothy Rabbit, the team's leading goal scorer. There he goes, up into the zone. Rabbit passes it back to Tukkonen. Tukkonen with nice gloves. Actually, what a goal! Canes are moving on. I think that may have been Bluntman. We'll take a look at the replay here, folks. And we're going to start with the zone entry taken by Timothy Rabbit here. We'll see what happens. Timothy Rabbit is going to circle back, and Tukkonen, a defensive defenseman, and look at like jet black gloves. And he's going to dish it, and who is left wide open in the slot? It's none other than Harvey Bootland, Mr. Game 4, I guess. And he's just going to put that puck 5-hole on the one-timer and score. Canes win. Bootland with 1 goal in that game. Roy with 2 points for the Caps. But the Canes, emerge victorious and sweep the Washington Capitals. So the Canes are heading to the Eastern Conference Final. If you remember, we did lose to Florida last year in the Eastern Conference Final. Doesn't look like we'll be facing Florida this year. And it looks like we're going to be facing the winner of the Boston and New Jersey series, and it's going to be Canes versus Bruins in the conference final again. It's obviously been a while since these two teams last faced in the conference final, but here we go. And it's Vegas versus St. Louis. So very interesting playoff scenarios. Boston gets the first goal thanks to Bellamy. Second period, nothing doing for the Canes. Third period, Canes lose their first game of the playoffs, 4-0, and they get shut out too. First game they've been, yeah, that's not good. But you know the Canes, they're a resilient team at the TD Garden. In game 2, I think we will see redemption for the Carolina Hurricanes. First period, Bellamy scores again. Second period, the Canes still can't score. God damn. Robertson and Silverberg score. Third period, Canes get a goal thanks to Will Looper. And Canes Stats is now playing for Boston, but unfortunately it took them, they almost went 6 whole periods without scoring a goal. Canes Stats has been playing out of his mind the first 2 games. Here are the May draft rankings. Nothing too crazy. Okay, we found 2 more gems. A low elite left winger now. And a right winger, also low top 6. We know that this player is going to be low elite. I'm probably going to pick him up because I do need defensive prospects. So, cool stuff. First period of game 3. Canes are getting shut out. Their Canes are losing 2-0 in this series. Vikingstad scores. Come on, Canes. Well, Svech tied it. Bellamy took the lead. Nokalainen tied it. Harrison scored. And then O'Sullivan took the lead. Or tied it. We're heading to overtime. Can the Canes win? Can they avoid... Can they force a game 5? Like, that's what I'll say. It's because, you know, obviously if they go down 3-0 in the series, it's looking like they'll get swept again by the Bruins, which would be frustrating. But let's ride that hype for PNC. It's Butland, Rabbit, and probably Svechnikov on the first line for the Hurricanes. It is. Nice hit. 65 shoots and save. Kiiskinen. Tukinen almost puts it in his own net, but Tukinen clears it out. Rabbit with the puck now. He's 1 against 4 here. Nice pass to Tukinen. Tukinen with a shot. Butland. Oh, great save on Svechnikov by Canes Stats. Butland gets crunched again. Oh my gosh. So he's definitely a little light. I think he's only 5'9". But like, my gosh, he just gets lit up out there. Tarasov with a good shot. Butland with a nice recovery on the rebound. Rabbit's going to carry it in. It's now a 2-on-3. Oh, Svech almost had it. The pass was just not quite timed. Rabbit hasn't been known for his playmaking skills in the past, so that's what I'll say is the problem. Tarasov with the puck now. He's going to make a nice play. And Kiiskinen with a good save. And there's a little bit of contact with the goalie there from the guy who's bitching out. But anyways, it looks like all is well. Everything is okay. Top 10 goals in these playoffs. We don't have anybody up there, and Boston has quite a few. It has been balanced in terms of scoring for this team, so I'm not terribly surprised. Kiiskinen has it. Meg with the puck now on the first pair. Moberg with it, so I don't know what line this is. McCarron, it's the second line. Oh, Robertson with a nice defensive play there to break up the pass, and Lundestrom with it. And Lundestrom is going to pass it to Finding Nemo. And Moberg with the puck now, and that's going to be a 1-on-2, 2-on-4, something like that. It's going to be an offensive opportunity. They're switching up the defense. Michael Goodrow is out there now. The pass shoots, and an easy save from Kiiskinen, from Canes Stats there. Not really much of a screen. Moberg with it to Will Looper, to Goodrow. Oh, good save from Canes Stats there. There was some traffic this time. Off the post, what a shot. Nokalainen with the puck to McCarron. Mokalainen has it again. McCarron was open, but that was an interesting pass. And number 44 has it to Lundestrom. Lundestrom's going to pass it to Harrison. Jay Harrison. It's not, but his last name's Harrison and he wears 44, man. It's Jay Harrison. You can't convince me otherwise. We're losing the face-off battle pretty badly, but we do win that face-off. Michael Goodrow with the puck, breaking it out to Purcell here. Oh, good turnover. Laxinen with the puck. Laxinen, great defense out in front now. Goodrow with it, back to Purcell. Goodrow shooting, good save. Kane Stats again, holding the fort here. Canes are getting the majority of the chances in this overtime. They're not getting enough traffic in front of Kane Stats though. He's made quite a few easy saves. Zidlicki with the puck, Gaborik, and Keiskanen makes a couple of saves. Michael Goodrow with it, and Purcell gets it. And they're going to start a breakout. Laxinen with the puck to Purcell. Laxinen took the hit, made the play, and it is now Robinson? I couldn't see. I saw our son. Moritz Seder up with the puck. Heiskanen has it, and Purcell with another nice first play to kind of create a turnover here. He's having a good period in overtime. Meg Palmer with the puck. Oh, great save off the pad. By Kane Stats. And the puck is iced with 4 minutes, 3 seconds left in overtime. First line. This is not the first line. Tukkonen with it to Rabbit. Oh, it is the first line. It was just listed differently on the thing. Okay. And there's a turnover now, so Rabbit's going to have to come back. Luckily, it's... Oh, what a hit by Tukkonen there. Rabbit with the puck. He's got a heck of a shot. And a nice stick save from Kane Stats there. Rabbit's going to turn the puck over. He's going to get bumped off the puck. Nice stick lift from Scratch, but he can't quite get it. Bellamy with the puck to Tarasov. Tarasov's going to get bumped off by Meg Palmer, and Rabbit's going to carry the puck up the ice. It might have been Rabbit with Meg with the hit. Harvey Bootland with the puck to Tukkonen. Back to Bootland to Svechnikov. Svech is going to take a slap shot, and it's going to get blocked. Cleared all the way down now. Tukkonen's going to pick it up, and Svech is going to start the rush again. Here he comes. Coming up the ice, Andrei Svechnikov. Oh, nice. He takes a slap shot. Good stick save. Seems like they're taking a lot of stick side shots there, so it looks like that's the read on Kane Stats. And Robertson with the puck now. And nice play by Michael Goodrow there. And he makes a nice breakout pass to Moberg. Moberg shoots, and it's blocked. Canes are making a line change, so they can't get the pressure. But nice play by McCarron to keep the puck in. Moberg now. Back to McCarron, shooting, save. Oh, weird shot. And Mokalainen has it to Moberg. Moberg dishing it up to Will Luca, to Michael Goodrow. Oh, he shakes it free up above the defender, save. And Fernandez with the puck now. Great opportunities for the Hurricanes. 45 seconds left in overtime. And Mokalainen with the puck. He's going to kick it to McCarron. McCarron up to Moberg. And Will Luca coming up the ice. We got 35 seconds left. Michael Goodrow with the puck. Dishing it up to McCarron, who carries it in offsides. 32 seconds left. Svech is the only one, and Natchez is up there too with points. He's got to be pretty close to retiring too. He's 36, I think. So he's got to be pretty close to retirement. It'd be interesting to see how well Marty Natchez did in Vegas. I know he was like a really good player. I don't think quite enough for Hall of Fame, but still quite good. Keiskanen makes a nice save on Gaborik with 14.8 seconds left. And we have Purcell, O'Sullivan, and Laxinen on the ice now. So this is the third line for the Hurricanes. We have yet to see the fourth line for the Canes. Shooting, oh, great save, Keiskanen. And Purcell with the puck gets crushed along the boards. Here comes Boston late in overtime. Missed the net. All they have to do is just hold on to the puck. And second overtime, here we come. That could have been bad. A couple grade A chances for the Bruins late in overtime. There's Mr. Aho. Did not see him play at all in the first overtime. A couple great chances. That was William hitting the post and Stretch almost getting a rebound goal. But not quite. Start of second overtime. It's going to be Vikings-style Bellamy and Tarasov against Rabbit, Butland, and Svechnikov. And Butland's going to lose the faceoff. Oh, nice pass to Vikings-style here. To Bellamy. Bellamy's going to walk in. Great save, Keyskin. Bellamy with the puck. Butland with the turnover. He gets clipped. That's a penalty. Keyskin, that was a high hit. Butland's getting pushed around out there, man. Plus minus doesn't matter. Cool, we have 5 players in the top 10. It's a stat that doesn't matter. And Butland's going to lose the faceoff. Dang it, I was trying to speak it into existence. Nice block, and Meg picks up the puck. Meg almost turns it over. Tuukkanen with the puck now, though. And Rabbit has it. Dishing it to Svechnikov, slap shot, and an easy save from Kane Stats. Very little traffic out in front. And there's a penalty coming up. So that's a holding penalty in front on Bellamy. So Boston loses one of their top forwards for a little bit. Yeah, that's a hold along the boards. I guess it was a delayed call. I didn't see that. But Bill Bellamy is clearly upset about that penalty. So first unit is, or the second unit's out there. Will Looper, O'Sullivan, Laxon, and O'Sullivan wins the faceoff to Meg, to Will Looper shooting. Good pad save from Kane Stats there. But again, a weak shot and no traffic in front of the net. So this is a crucial power play in the series. If you can score here in overtime to win it, you cut the series lead in half. And you need that to happen, man. Kane Stats has 43 saves in this game. Purcell with the puck. He's going to take it up himself. Kane Stats with a nice save there on a rising shot that may have been deflected on the way through. No shortage of opportunities here for the Canes on this power play already. 2 shots on goal. And hopefully O'Sullivan can win another faceoff. He can't. Moritz Seider clears it out of the zone. And you got Meg Palmer here. Meg with the puck to Laxon, and Laxon is going to break it into the zone. He has some help. Back to shot, and it's blocked by his own man. That's O'Sullivan blocking the shot. Meg with another shot, and it breaks the stick of the Boston defender. And that Boston defender just picks up his stick. They let him do that. Purcell with the shot. It's blocked by Moritz Seider, I believe. And the Canes cannot take advantage of that. Meg is going to break it up to Purcell. Purcell to Will Looper. Probably the last push for this power play unit. O'Sullivan now. Gabriel O'Sullivan shoots, and it's saved. He's being held in front. Oh my god. Meg. Laxonen with it. Let's try to get some sustained pressure, friends. Laxonen to Purcell. The pass is blocked. Purcell brings it in offside. Let's get this unit out of here. They have been largely ineffective for about 40 seconds. That was a great save, and then they just held him in front. But McCarron, Butland, and Suzuki out here, probably with Svechnikov. And I can't tell who the other person is. Oh, Rabbit, obviously. Yeah. So it's an all-forward unit again. Canes like to run that all-forward unit, 5 forwards. We also don't have an offensive defenseman. So Suzuki shoots, save. Suzuki with the save. Butland. And great save by Kane Stats. Wow. All of a sudden, a nothing opportunity. Harvey Butland coming in here and makes a play happen. There's still some time left on this power play, 29 seconds. Hopefully the Canes can capitalize. Harvey Butland loses the damn faceoff again. And he's not very good on faceoffs, is he? Well, the Bruins ice away most of the time. Time for one final push. Svechnikov is going to turn the puck over, but McCarron's got it. McCarron turns it over, and that is it for the power play pretty much. He just let the defender take it from him. Sketch is going to carry it into the zone. Power play has expired, but the Canes do maintain possession. Bootman misses the net. Good chance there. And Huey with the puck now. Man, this team is filled with just like former NHL player names. As we have a guy whose last name is Rabbit and then Bootland. Rabbit with the puck now. He's going to dish it up to Suzuki. Suzuki to Bootland. Shot. Save on the stick side again. And McCarron has it to Suzuki. Suzuki with the puck. He had a lane. Svechnikov has it now. Suzuki to Svech. Shot again on the stick side. Next hit there. Harvey Bootland has no help. McCarron with the puck now. McCarron to Rabbit. Timothy Rabbit. To Svechnikov. Svech has it. Shooting. Slap shot. Oh, it almost triples in. Harvey Bootland with the puck. Bootland saved by Canes stats. The Canes can get nothing past Canes stats. And I just had to plug the stream one more time. Slater with the puck, nice little deflection there. Bellamy, great play by O'Sullivan, and the Bruins freaking score. They had 54 shots. This is like the actual Hurricanes. I'm so mad. Facing elimination now in Raleigh. Oh my goodness. Okay, Canes finally get a goal in regulation in the first period. Rabbit scoring for the Canes. Second period, Rabbit scores again. Hat-trick watch. Purcell, Bootland, Aho, and Goodrow score. The Canes stave off the sweep. Force a game 5. McCarron is out with a sore foot until basically the second round, or the cup final. I doubt we get there, but, you know, so losing an 85 overall player, I think he might be 86 actually. That's pretty much it for the season, but we'll see. Gehring and Bootland might have something to say about that. Second period now, Bellamy does score. And the Bruins win. Bellamy was just killing us in the playoffs, man. But that is it. We lose in the Eastern Conference Final again. It's going to be Bruins versus Golden Knights. It's tough. That's tough. But, you know, it's alright. Boston wins the Stanley Cup. Everybody around the league boos. And looks like Nashville gets picks 8 and 9. Anaheim, Columbus, and Detroit are going to be your lottery teams. That's about it. We'll go view the draft class one more time just to see what the final draft class looks like. We'll be picking, I believe, 28th, maybe 29th overall. But, yeah, nothing too crazy as far as the draft is concerned. I am going to pick this guy. I really want him to work out for the team. Retired players. Connor McDavid calls it quits. 1,700 points. Over 1,000 assists. Almost 700 goals. But Connor McDavid has retired. Interestingly enough, Aho has not retired. Braden Point as well retiring. Dylan Larkin. Kyle Connor, Nico Hischier, Nylander, Barzal, and Martin Necas has retired. Age 36, spent a good chunk of his career with the Hurricanes, 1033 points in his NHL career. Spent the last season, had 60 points. He probably, in all honesty, 79 overall. He could have signed another year and maybe played in the AHL, but some players just want to go out on top. But Necas with over 700 assists. Spent the first half of his career, actually less than that, with the Hurricanes. And then was traded to Vegas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Spent 10 seasons with Vegas, and then 6 full seasons with the Hurricanes, and then, the 2 seasons before that. So that's the biggest former Cane on here. Other than that, any other former Canes on this list that I can remember us having? Noah Gregor was a Cane for like a year, maybe. Yeah, he was a Hurricane for half a season. We traded for him. This is when we were trying to tank for Harvey Bootland. And he had 6 points. So 6 of his 229 NHL points were with the Carolina Hurricanes. Luke Henman retiring as well. I don't believe he ever played with the Hurricanes, did he? Don't believe so. He had 10 games with the Hurricanes. So not really, but... And as for goalies retiring, I am surprised that Aho did not retire. Gustafsson, Blackwood, Tarasov, Daniil Tarasov, calling it quits as well. But no former Canes. So Necas is probably the biggest name on there, calling it quits with 1,033 NHL points. Nico Hischier is now a coach with the Vancouver Canucks. And I guarantee you that's my AHL goalie coach. I've had to sign an AHL goalie coach, I feel, every season for the past 10 seasons. We'll do the draft and then we'll do awards. I may only sim the regular season of this. I am kind of tired. So, Carl, K to the R, you have been put on the trade block by Arizona. Former Hurricane as well, I believe. Pick 29 in the first round. And looks like a really crappy draft. Wow, I hate it here. Pierce Pody. You're the only one that has like close to medium elite potential. Medium top 6 forward, and he's a good bit better than what's been taken around him. I mean, best player available all the way. I do need defense, but when faced with the opportunity, I'm going to draft the best player available. Pete Hay. I like that name. There is a gem, but he is only a low top 6 forward. Let's draft Pete Hay. I like that name. Medium top 6D. Not great, but I do need defensemen on the team. Pick 91 now in the 3rd round. I think I just have all of my picks. I may have like one extra pick. But our scouts really like Maxwell Peverly. They also really like Bickle, but he's a grinder. So we're going to pick this guy. Peverly, top 9 forward. That's just an okay pick. 108th overall now. Necas looks like the best possible prospect I could draft. And again, he's a defenseman. I do need defensemen. 122nd overall now. Our scouts like this guy enough to put him at 110, possibly. We'll draft Rosehill. Why not? Let's see what happens. Medium top 6 forward. Even though he's a grinder, that's a very good 4th round pick. I probably could have gotten him with my 5th round pick, but why risk it, you know? Why risk it? We'll just go off potential here. There's this low elite Todd Riddle. I can wait to draft him if I can wait to draft all of these guys if I really want to. I'll get Esteban Zanata here now because he is ranked as a gem. 5 years. Yeah, his foot speed sucks, but I haven't drafted a left winger yet. I don't think we'll get that low elite player. 153 overall. No. Chances are it means that there's a gem. Could be this Valaket guy, actually. I have a friend with that last name. But I do want to draft Todd Riddle. And we'll see if Valaket actually ends up being decent. Hopefully Boston didn't take him. It'd really make me mad if the team that beat us in the playoffs took him. They took Perjeta, and he doesn't look very good. It could be possible that Vancouver didn't want to, but sometimes most of the time when a team offers to trade you for, like, to trade up. Oh no, he wasn't good. Okay. So sometimes when a team offers to trade up in the draft, it's because they want to draft a gem. Or like a player that they think is a gem, and so I typically say no to that and try and steal something from them, but if not, then I really don't care. We'll pick a goalie, why not? Igor Yakupov, welcome to the team. Medium starter potential, he's 19, but overall 61, not too bad. I did draft a couple goalies last year, but it's never a bad idea to get more. And then again, I did see that there was a low top 6 forward, I believe. A left winger. Again, 18 years old, 47 overall is bad. But 7th round pick, you're drafting for potential. I always draft for potential. And I'm not going to get anything better than that, so. That's the draft. Solid draft overall. I really like some of the picks that I made. I think we did a good job of getting some gems in there, but if you are new to the stream, come say hello. And yeah, I don't know if you all heard, I saw somebody tweeted today that we're apparently one of the 4 teams in the running for like a Russian goaltender, which is going to be pretty cool. Alexei Melnichuk, I think is his name. Art Ross went to, I think his last name is pronounced Rock, created player nonetheless. He's been running away with the Selke for years now. Kerslake won the Hart, McCann won the Norris. Kane Stats won the Conn Smythe. Congrats to Kane Stats on winning the Conn Smythe. Yuri Leonov, former Carolina Hurricane, winning the Vezina. And the William M. Jennings. Rock winning, like, I think his 8th Selke in a row. I know it only shows the past 5, but he has seriously won the Selke for the past 5 years. Or at least the past 7 or 8 years. It's kind of been ridiculous. Rocket Richard went to Kapitanov. Any AHL awards for this team? Or for the Checkers? I don't think they had a very good year. I didn't expect them to, and Pecker won the scoring title for his team with 65 points. That's about it for that. Torsten Prince had 6 points in 5 games, but Charlotte was eliminated in 5 games. Expiring scouts, 2 USA, and I think it was 2 NHL scouts. So we'll do this real quick. Yeah, so 2 NHL scouts for sure. And then we'll re-sign this one. And I actually was thinking, like, man, my USA scout, like, I could do better than a C overall, so I'm going to do that. I have no coaches that need contracts this year. However, is it my AHL goalie coach? It's not. It's my associate coach. Thank God. I have always had to sign NHL or AHL goalie coaches, and I hate doing it. We'll go to contracts now. All expiring players. Ryan Suzuki's the best. He's been a career Hurricane, still a pretty solid player, 84 overall. How many years does he want? 2. I think I can handle that. He has moved down 3 overall points in the past year. However, that's a really cheap deal, and I don't think I can do better than that. I'm okay with letting Laxinen go. I'm okay with letting Moberg go. Other than that, we're going to check everything out in the depth chart. Sebastian Aho wants to resign. He wants a one-way deal too. We'll give him this contract and bury him in Charlotte. That's what'll happen. This Henry player, Henry, I'm okay with letting go because we'll sign this guy medium top 9 forward. A third round pick of the Carolina Hurricanes. This Sheldon Love guy, 7th round pick, 62 overall at age 22. I think I'm going to say no to that. So we won't give that prospect a contract. Hulse, I'll release. This guy I'll want to sign after that. And then Havlat, we will also sign. He's not very good, 65 overall at age 20, but there is room to grow, and Charlotte needs prospect depth. So, former third round pick as well. I'll feel bad for not saying yes. I'm going to say no to signing Purcell. We'll see like some depth changes on the team. Gehring, I consider a prospect. I'll re-sign him. And Pecker, I'm okay with letting go. Defense. Nokalainen, release. Iliakis, I feel like we'll qualify Noranen for the next year. We'll get this Mowers guy in Charlotte. And Charlotte's defense is just kind of okay, so we'll sign this guy too. Again, I think I can do better than that. He didn't grow at all last season, so let's see, I don't want him to sign, but we'll qualify Mr. Conboy here. That'll be it. Unsigned players, as far as goalies are concerned, nothing too crazy. I do have this medium elite goalie who will be in the AHL next year. As far as skating overall, Petrov is actually the best. He's a center prospect, former 4th round pick. I'm going to sign him. He's good enough for the AHL. Martin is my 1st round pick last year, medium top 6 forward. Also a center, so there's no point in signing him now. Other than that, I'm okay on waiting. It doesn't look like last year's draft class is very good. This was a 7th round pick, and it doesn't look like he's gotten much better. I think he was like a 48 when we drafted him, maybe even a 49, so he didn't get any better. So that's okay. But yeah, we will offer Petrov a contract and just let him play in the AHL next year. Other than that, I'm okay with just letting everybody else develop. Alright, a scout has accepted. Aho has accepted, so he will retire as a Hurricane. Prospect. Suzuki accepted. Alright, the rest of the guys will just qualify, and most of them will re-sign. But I am going to have to look for a lot of AHL depth this year, which I'm okay with. Alright, free agency has come. First off, let's go find us that AHL coach. Hopefully, the staff chemistry sucks, which means that the AHL associate coach was the glue that held this team together. Teaching is always going to be one of the best stats you can offer. He's a generalist. We'll offer him a good bit of money to come here. And that's all I need to do for coaching. We'll go to scouting. Now I need a USA scout and a Russian scout. So we'll go to Russia. Best I can do here is this guy. He's a B in the shooting category, a B- in the reflexes category. Yeah, I like that. That's fine. Please be better in USA. Oh, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, just C's overall. This Garrison guy has a lot of B- though, which is actually... Oh yeah, he's basically just... He should be a B- overall. I don't know why he isn't. Maybe his region accuracy kind of sucks. Oh well. But we'll definitely get him because I like the fact that his efficiency is slightly better and his discovery is better. So he can discover gems a little more, and he's a little quicker at finding prospects, which I like. so I can scout more players. I think he was like USA Central too, which that's like the biggest division there is in the USA. Before I go and sign free agents, oh, that Bellamy guy is a free agent. I just saw. I think he's probably an RFA, but still. I have to go to propose trade. Why can't they just give me the lines here? Whatever. Okay, so centers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm fine with it. Left wingers. I have 1. So I need to sign 3 left wingers. Right wingers. I have 1, 2, 3. So I need to sign like a third line right winger. And I need to sign like any left wingers. Defense. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to sign 2 defensemen. And goaltenders. I'm good. So I am going to type this in chat so I don't forget. I'm typing that so I don't forget, because I will. And then I'm going to have to make a trade, and I don't want to do that. Free agents. Oh, he's not. He's a UFA. But he's a center, so I don't need him. We're reaching the last, like, 3-4 seasons of this franchise mode. We're going to make Super Team. Edler. Actually, before I do that, let me make sure that he actually fits my scheme. Defensive pairing 1. Okay, cool. He is a defensive defenseman, so... and I think... Whatever, I can't think of the guy's name. The other defenseman I have that's like 89 overall is also a defensive defenseman, so it's going to be like an exclusively defensive first pair, but I'm cool with it. Let's see, I want... There's a lot of centers available. Nurmi. I just needed 1 right winger, right? Yes, Yanni Nurmi. Pretty solid player overall. Let's pick him up. 83 overall isn't the best, but you know what? I only needed 1 right winger. Now I need 3 left wingers. We'll go with this Lorentz guy. For sure. I don't have any prospects that can take over for any of these guys either, which is why I'm doing this. Oh, I also needed a good defenseman. Sergeyev, sure. He wants 5 years. Let's give him 3 and just offer him a bit more money. He should say yes to that. And then we'll get like an actual 4th line left wing. An actual 4th line left wing. It's not actual, but Morrow, he's not very good. We'll just offer him a little bit more money. And then, hey, made it. And then I need a defenseman. I need like a decent defenseman too. Guy's a free an RFA, so is he. Damn. Gormier, he's like okay. I shouldn't have offered him 4 years, but it's fine. I'm not convinced that we'll be playing this 4 years from now, so. Prospects. Any good prospects available? Not really, actually. Man, I was kind of hoping. Oh, this was a pick of mine that I decided to not sign. We'll bring in Hunt for a year. I'm really just looking for prospect depth. We'll bring in this Konopka guy for a year. Grinders do well in the AHL, actually. Sure, I'll bring back Pecker. Only for a year, though. This is a good prospect, actually. Beach. Noah Beach, a former 2nd round pick. Low top 6 potential, 70 overall. If he signs, that's a huge pickup for my team. I need defense now. Let's find some defense. I think I only need like 1 defenseman. and I'll be set. Brule. And I think that's good enough for now. So we'll advance, we'll see what happens. Coaching staff has been filled with Brandon Vermanis, so that's great. Looks like my USA scout also signed. I'm just waiting on the Russian scout now. Speaking of the Russian scout, he is signed. I'm getting an offer for a trade. I don't want to make any trades, so we'll just change the trade block like that. And yeah. So nobody signed. We're waiting for day 5. So Cormier signed on defense. Nurmi signed on the right wing. Couple AHL signings here. Lorentz was an NHL signing. Same with Morrow. Pecker, bringing him back. Bob Hunt. Brule. And Beach accepted. So that's the big one, that prospect signing here. And Edler on defense signing, Magnus Edler, and then Sergeyev signing as well. So pretty big free agency. I think I'm done. Connor McLennan getting traded from Pittsburgh to the Rangers. So the Metro gets better and worse at the same time. Like Pittsburgh gets worse, arguably, and then the Rangers get better. But McLennan is a 2020 draft pick, so he's 33. And these are going to be all the players that I qualified, starting to like slowly trickle in. Signing, it's exclusively, I'm pretty sure it's almost exclusively AHL talent. There might be one guy that was like on the fringe of, yeah, this was the guy that was an NHL player last year. And I just qualified, so most of the prospects that I qualify will be playing. So everybody's 33 right now, and at the end of this year they'll be 34. So it's going to be this season, and then it's hopefully going to be no more than 5 seasons. So probably 2 more nights of streaming after this. Bulin, 95 overall. Man, he was a 90 last season. Crazy. So that's really good to see. Svechnikov, understandably, is down from a 93 to a 92. And Will is down from an 88 to an 87. So this is definitely a bit of an aging core here. Ryan Suzuki is down to an 82. Aho is no longer on the team. That actually makes the team better. I'll do that. Yeah, so Suzuki down 2 overall points. Will down 1, and Svechnikov down 1 is not very good, but I'm okay with it. Svech won't retire. Also, yeah, I'll be doing a part 2. I'll just probably take a couple, like a day or 2, just to kind of relax, and not play NHL for a little bit, and then I'll start it up again. But so Svechnikov, we've been taking a look at point totals, like at the NHL level, and Svech is 1 point away from 1,300, and Martin Necas retired with just over 1,000 points this past season. Aho's still here, but he is scratched. Starting lineup, and then we'll go to the defense. Edler and Tukkonen. We finally have a good first pair. That doesn't make anything better. That makes things way worse. Meg has actually fallen to an 83 after being an 85 last year as well. So that's a concern. So Meg will probably retire at age 35. 1 year left on the deal. I probably won't re-sign Meg. How much does Michael have? He has a year left as well. And then goaltending is Kiskinen and then this Callis player who I just kind of picked up in free agency. So. Yeah, I already took note that you were going to be in the next franchise mode. I'm probably only going to add like 4 other people after that too, because it's a lot keeping up with like 40 some players, and I've already like really slacked on finding out how well the players did every season. I've just been kind of relying on like waiting until retirement and then saying like, here's the player, and I'm probably gonna like tweet it out too. Like every time a player retires, I'll probably tweet it out. Um, so, and you can ask as many questions as you want. I don't care. That's a trade offer declined. Yeah, I wanted to win Aho a cup last year, and unfortunately we lost in 5 games in the conference final. So tough, but Aho will at least be on the team this year as a scratch, but he will not be playing. He may come in if there's an injury, but I doubt that happens. Uh-oh, Wi-Fi kinda sucks. Hope it didn't affect the stream. If it does affect the stream, just let me know. I just need to make sure my scout is in the right place. USA Central, West, and USA East. Cool. Yeah, I was right. It is his region accuracy that's a little iffy. Alright. So, lost the home opener, but won the next game in Columbus. And Charlotte's already missing some time with an injury. And I'm also going to stop. I might sim the playoffs. I don't know how I'm feeling. I might leave like briefly to go get some water because I do feel my throat's a little dry just from speaking for almost an hour and a half. So while this is simming, I am going to go grab a drink real quick. I will be right back. Right, starting back. We got the draft rankings here for this upcoming season. Looks like Ray Wolf, playing in the Extraliga in the Czech Republic, is projected to go first overall with a Nicholas Backstrom comparison. Pretty solid, actually. And then any gems so far? Probably not. Nope. But yeah, if you just made it into the stream, before I had to focus on free agency and everything, I was talking about how, I heard today, and I've kind of seen on Twitter as well, that the Canes are one of the 4 final teams that are in the hunt for a Russian goaltending prospect, Alexei Melnichuk, who will turn 22 at the end of June. Really good stats overall. Over the past, few years. I was kind of surprised that he wasn't picked last year. Or like, after seeing his stats, I was like, a team really didn't pick him up because, playing in the Russian second league, he had a sub 2 goals against and a 924 save percentage and did really well in the playoffs as well. But I guess, a team just didn't want to take a chance, so that's cool. Yeah, this year, he's really the player that beat Kochetkov for the starting goal or for the backup goalie position with SKA, and it kind of forced a trade. So that sent Kochetkov to Vityaz, I think is how you pronounce it. But that'd be an interesting pickup for the Hurricanes because they have a lot of goalies in the system. The situation for next year is kind of up in the air, so I'm not sure what happens, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And the team's actually struggling, 7-8-2. It's a slow start. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's just a really slow start for the team. We typically have. But it could also just be an old team getting old, and even if we had players going in, the players, improving the team, it could just be that the players that are, getting old are just not good enough anymore. Anaheim fires their coach, so crazy stuff. Anaheim firing their coach. This is the second year in a row that they fired their coach, I believe. So clearly this guy didn't know what was up. So Anaheim fired their coach. Yeah, Canes still struggling to stay afloat in the Metro. They are only 3 points out of third in the division right now, though. Pittsburgh fires Mark Giordano as their coach. I believe that's the second time he has been fired in this sim. So clearly Giordano, maybe not the greatest coach at the NHL level. I would be incredibly surprised given the fact that they have 3 goalies under contract next season. Mrazek, Reimer, and Nedeljkovic. Like, all 3 of those goalies have 1 year remaining on their deal. So either way, somebody has to move. But I would be very surprised if the Canes went out of their way and spent money on either goaltender. Yeah, we're not doing well. 9-12-3 after December 1st. Hopefully, again, it's just a slow start. And also, like, I don't know, man. Like, Holtby going to the Canes would kind of be a hilarious troll against the Caps, but at the same time, I just can't see it happening. He's also like in his he's in his like mid-30s, isn't he? Or am I just imagining things? He'll be 31 by the start of next season, which, I mean, that's not terribly old, but he's going to want term, and I'm not sure if you really want to give him like 5 years or even more. Like, some team is going to give him like 8 years and regret the final like 4 years of that deal. But here's a gem. Dakota Anderson, left wing prospect. Projected to go middle of the second round, so I probably won't be able to pick him up unless the team continues doing this. Yeah, I just looked it up. He is 30, but I don't know. I can't see the Canes doing that, but I could be wrong. It doesn't seem that the Hurricanes are a team that's going to go out and spend a ton on a goalie. Like, they'd rather, have 2 pretty decent goaltenders and then, like a really solid like forward and defense group. And yeah, Leonard's going to be 29 pretty soon, so he's not too much younger, but I don't know, man. Leonard's good, but I just can't see the Canes doing it. Man, this might be the year to tank. This might be a year to tank. Yeah, I would hope we beat the team that only had 9 wins in the middle of December. Yeah, 13, 16, and 3. We are 5th in the division, but we're quite a bit out of the playoffs. Still losing a bunch of games. If there's a player with a year or 2 left on his contract, I'm going to consider trading them to try and get something, Yeah, so actually I'm going to pause real quick because we are losing a bunch of games and offload some talent. Or at least put them up on the block. Trading block. This is what I want. That first round pick is going to be very valuable, so I'm not going to keep that on the block. Guys with 1 year left on the deal that aren't named Harvey Bootland. Svatch has a year. Jeez. Sullivan, I'm fine with keeping. I kind of want to keep him. We'll put Meg on the block. Tough decisions, but somebody's got to make them. So Meg is on the block. Put Nurmi on the block as well. And then we will also put Michael Gaudreau on the trading block. And I think we could get first round picks for these people, so I'm gonna put both current first and second round picks on my wish list, so I can try and get something. We'll see if that changes the trade offers, like the types of trade offers that I'm getting. If I get a good enough offer for any of those players, I'll accept it. Once we get closer to the deadline, though, we'll say like around here, if I haven't traded them, we'll take a look, see what happens. Is the stream still working? I did get an error for YouTube. It looks like it's okay. Okay. It is cool to see that the Canes are into Russian free agents now, because I mean, you've never seen the Hurricanes come up in terms of Russian free agents, but I think hiring that Russian scout that also used to be an agent was a big deal for the team, because he already knows certain players, and you know, you obviously get another guy looking over there, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we see the Canes pick a couple Russians in this draft. Well, we're on a 3-game win streak. Look at us. 4. Make it 4. All right. Can we beat Buffalo? See, what's the point in this? I actually like this guy. He's going to make the team once I trade a few players. It doesn't look like this will be a year to chase the cup for Sebastian Aho, unfortunately, but like, I'd offer to trade him elsewhere, but at the same time, no team is going to put him on their NHL roster, so there's no point. Also, I love that we're winning games now that I put players on the trade block. Everyone's like, oh, shoot, maybe we should start trying. They mean business. They're going to trade us away. This storied Carolina Hurricanes franchise is going to trade away some players. Alright. It's a little bit of shifting in the draft rankings, and we do also have 2 more second round picks that are potential gems. One is a defenseman, a center, and a left wing. And we're still scouting all 3 of them, but there is an Ovechkin in this draft, and he's a defenseman. Maybe the son of Alex Ovechkin. I don't actually remember how old Ovechkin's player, or like child, is. And we have another 2 wins, so we are up to 500, and we are actually tied for 3rd in the division. We are 4th based on like wins or whatever, but we are tied for 3rd in the division. It's kind of funny how this works, huh? Back below 500 though. We're at 500 again. With the win against the Calgary Flames. The Penguins are one of the worst teams in the division, so I'd hope we could beat them. And we do. Wow. Big win here. 2 points out of a playoff spot, but the Canes are holding close in this playoff race. We lose to Buffalo, but we beat the Rangers, who are ahead of us in the standings. The Devils are the team we need to beat, though, because they are 3rd in the division currently. Dallas gets Matt Chatelain here from Calgary. I believe that's the first time we've seen him move in quite a while. So Dallas gets an aging Matt Chatelain, who is 34 currently. Every player that's created in this mode is 34. No. So we lose to the Devils, so that's kind of a big hit to our playoff push. Jarvinen heads to Vegas, so Pittsburgh gets worse. Washington gets Brant Clark. have lost quite a few games. It doesn't make sense to go for the playoffs. As much as it like hurts me to admit it, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. So who did I have on the list? It was Meg. We'll just try and find like like one trade for Meg. No trades found. Okay, let's add in Michael then. Okay, so still no trades found. Oh, how about who was it that I also had? Nurmi. Well, let's see if this works. Who? TF. Is it just Meg that nobody wants? Let's see. Let's see if that's the case. Yeah. Those 2 prospects and a 6th round pick from the looks of things. Bales is a left winger, 79 overall, age 25. And I'd get a defenseman that's 79 overall, age 25. And a 6th round pick. Doesn't make too much sense to make that trade, in all honesty. So let's try it again. I do like that gave me 2 trade offers. But Pittsburgh's offer now gives me a 3rd round pick in next year's draft. It gives me Salmelainen as like a replacement, and it gives me a center. Sure. That's fine. I get a pick. Go to roster moves. I have to call up a player. I have to call up a defenseman, I guess, and we'll call up Salmelainen. Best lines. And we'll see what happens, because I was already talking about probably not bringing back Michael next year. I'm not going to bring back the 2 prospects. Do I see Ovechkin on any other team? No, the Caps are going to do whatever they can to keep him on the team. Like, it would be doing him a disservice to have him retire with any other team, unless the Capitals are like so bad by the time he's like thinking about calling it quits. I can't see him with another team. Like, he's been a career Capital. It would just be weird to see him in any other jersey, you know? But I mean, it happened with Eric Stahl for the Canes, like, which is a lesser extent, but you know what I mean. And nothing else too crazy. I have to cough. Give me 1 second. Yeah, my throat's really dry. I don't think I can sim the playoffs tonight. That's true. I did think this. Yeah, but like, it's again on a smaller scale though. Like, Ovi has been the guy in Washington, so it's a little different. I'll say it's a little different, and I think that Ovechkin playing elsewhere, after being a superstar and one of arguably, the league's best goal scorer ever, it would just be too crazy to see. But also, I love how we've won 4 straight games since trading away Michael. He may have been the problem. That's what I'm going to say, at least. Swanson traded from Colorado to Ottawa. 5 straight wins now. So, good to hear. Honestly, now I think I'm good. Philadelphia traded, I don't know, it's basically just a lateral move. Pro Scouts on the line, I don't really care. But yeah, honestly, looks like, the Canes made the right move. They are 3 points out of the playoffs, so still, like, now they're 5 points out of the playoffs. But I don't want to make any other trades. I just don't want to. But those two last games against Philly and New Jersey, actually, I think that whole end of the month, man, you have 2 games against Washington, 1 against Philly, 1 against Pittsburgh, a game against Toronto, and then a game against New Jersey, and then another game against Philly. It's huge. You can get back a lot of points against Metro teams if you do this, if you win. There's a big win. We are 4th in the division. We're climbing on up. Timothy Rabbit's out with a wrist sprain. Oh, that might be it for our playoff hopes. Suzuki's out with a pulled groin. Draft rankings. Let's see where we're at. Let's see. We have a first round pick. It's looking like ours will be around like 12, maybe 14. So he's being scouted. All these guys are being scouted. Cool. Gems. Let's check on the gems. We had 4 last time. Still 4 this time. Doesn't look like we're... Maybe we only had 3 last time, but we have 4 now with Logan Fallon. Another center. So 2 center gems in this draft. We don't know anything really about these guys, though. But we are scouting him. I'm going to get a potential and comparison scout going on this guy. If he is truly a grinder, then I don't like that. But winning against Pittsburgh, possibly? 77 points. Looks like we're out of the playoffs. Oh, no, it's just straight up. Oh, that's weird. Okay. We're in a playoff spot. 84 points. We're in a wild card spot and tied for 3rd in the division. My goodness. So trading Michael ended up being the strategy the whole time. Fleury getting picked up in expansion was shocking. Suzuki's back for us. Ovechkin could be dangled as expansion bait. I'm really worried about who the Hurricanes will lose in expansion. And that's why I'm thinking they keep Gardner this season. For the next season. And try and, force a team to take Gardner next year. I think that could be an option. We're probably going to have to give up like a prospect in order to make that happen. We're a playoff team. Heck yes. Last game against Philly, it's arbitrary now knowing that we are a playoff team, but what a turnaround. Halfway through February, we were out of the playoffs. By a decent amount, too. We lose to Philly, but guess what? It doesn't matter. We're a freaking playoff team. I'm actually kind of excited. You know what? Screw it. We'll sim through the playoffs. Harvey Bootland setting career highs once again. Regular season's ended. It's going to be Canes versus Rangers. I don't want Pesce going to Seattle. I think the Canes are going to do everything they can to keep Pesce on the team. Pesce, Slavin, Hamilton, all those guys, they're going to do everything they can to keep him on the team. Really solid season. How has Rabbit done in his career, out of curiosity? 787 points, not terrible. Not a Hall of Fame career, but a really, really solid NHL career. By the time he retires, he may hit 1,000 points. Bootland, though, first season point per game, he's 21. 201 points already in his career. And like barely any goals because he's a pure playmaker. Edler was a really nice pickup for us. Lorentz was also really nice. Ryan Suzuki had a solid season, 47 points, despite being like not good. 81 overall, wow. That's his lowest point totals of his career, possibly? Probably not. No, he had 2 pretty bad seasons to start his career, but I'm really happy we kept him, obviously. Rookie skaters, I don't think I had any. Like, had 2 assists in 3 games. That's really good. But no, I think if a defenseman is moved, it'll be Gardner. Pesce is way too valuable for this team. Like, if Seattle was even thinking about getting him, the Canes would offer a lot of stuff to keep Pesce on the team. Yeah, so that's it. Svechnikov, 77 points. Now has how many points in his career at age 36? 1376. Crazy. He's not going to end up with as many points as Aho, I don't think. He's still elite, though. That's the thing. He's still an exact elite at age 36, so he probably has 2 more seasons left in him, maybe 3 even. So that's an option, or that's exciting. But game 1 of the playoffs, regardless, let's see what happens. Canes up 3-1. Rabbit with 2 goals. Hat trick watch for him and Edler. Second period now, Rabbit gets that hat trick. And third period, Lorentz gets a goal. So, obviously, a pretty solid start to the playoffs. Rabbit with 4 points in game 1. Wow. What a performance. Alright. Let's see. Looper scoring. Will gets his first goal of the playoffs. Chara and Eichel score. Eichel probably retires as well. He just had to play 1 more NHL season to get closer to McDavid. Because McDavid retired with over 1,700 points. Canes get a goal from Suzuki, but unfortunately the Rangers take this one by a score of 5-2. But still, Rabbit, despite a poor showing from his team, has 6 points on the team's 7 goals in this playoffs. So, good stuff so far. Heading to Raleigh now. Series tied at 1 apiece. Malatesta scores for the Rangers. Morrow scores for the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm not sure who that is, but cool. Ooh, 4-goal third period, man. That's rough. 5-1. I guess it's a race to 5 in this series, man. Whoever scores 5 goals wins. Tough. But again, like, for this team to like make the playoffs, it's still really cool. First period, Canes get a goal from Will Looper. Kiiskinen scores on Kiiskinen. That's funny. Second period, Canes are winning. Edler, Lorentz, and Lorentz score, so Lorentz has 2 goals in this game. And third period, Lorentz gets his hat trick. Not Steven Lorentz, just Lorentz. I don't know. I don't think Steven Lorentz in this game sims well. So Canes tie it up. We're heading to game 5, so there will be at least 1 more game in Raleigh, but my god. 4 goals for the Rangers. Salmelainen scores to at least make it not a shutout, but a 7-1 win. My goodness. So defense has been an issue. Torsten Prince is out for Charlotte. How's Charlotte doing in their series? They're down 2-1. Preissing has 3 assists. So Canes facing elimination in Game 6. This is in Raleigh. It's been a back and forth series so far. Hopefully the Canes can tie it up. First period, that's a good start. Meg getting her first goal of the playoffs. Second period, Will and Svechnikov. I think that's Svech's first goal of the playoffs. And a shutout win from Kiiskinen. Huge comeback win. Rabbit with 2 points in that game. He's having a phenomenal playoff series. And it looks as if Charlotte was eliminated. Preissing led the team with 3 assists in 4 games. Doesn't look like Charlotte was able to muster a whole lot of offense. First period, game 7, nothing. No score. Second period, no score. It's all up to the third period. We'll slow sim this. We'll see what happens. We'll go bit by bit. We got about a little over 15 minutes left. Now just under 15. Kessler. Jay Kessler gets the first goal for New York in this period. Maybe the only goal in the game if the Hurricanes can't muster a goal. It's 1-0. It's going to be a 1-0 loss, isn't it? Can the Canes score to tie it? They cannot. Tough. 1-0 shutout loss for the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 7. Tough. That's a tough way to go out, but again, you know, didn't expect this team to make the playoffs, and yet they did. And the fact that they took the Rangers to 7 is exciting. So we'll get a pretty high first round pick. There's 5 gems now. Another defenseman. This guy, low top 4D. We're still scouting this dude. Oh, we know that this guy's a power forward now. I like that a lot more than a grinder. And Logan Fallon, who's projected to go towards the end of the draft, so I could actually pick him up. Or no, Central Scouting has him. We don't have him ranked very high, do we? Wow. Okay. Whatever. He's falling a lot, so perhaps he'll go down. But other than that, that's the May ranking. So there will be one more ranking. The Avs have fired Jeffrey O'Neill. Arizona has fired Anze Kopitar as their head coach. Washington wins the cup. Wow. That's their first cup in quite a while. Pittsburgh wins the draft lottery. Minnesota moves up from 10th to 3rd, and then Arizona gets the 2nd overall pick. Winnipeg and Nashville get first round picks, as well as Edmonton. Final draft rankings. How's it looking, folks? Still 5 gems, 3 low elites, a low top 4D, and we still don't know much about this Pavel Ovechkin guy. But he is projected to go around when we want him to. So Nathan MacKinnon retiring with 1688 points, just 1 point over point per game pace. That's crazy. So definitely a Hall of Fame career for MacKinnon, Hall of Fame career for Aho and Laine, and Svechnikov retired. He was still a 92 overall. I'm so mad. I have to keep it somewhat family friendly since people might watch this with kids around, but Svech retired. It's a Hall of Fame career for sure, because I mean, 1,300 points is a lot. But he ended up being better than Pettersson. That's fun. Oh my god, I'm so upset. So the Hurricanes franchise just lost 2 legends today, in Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov. I'm so mad, because Svech could have at least played in at least one other season. He's a 92 freaking overall at the time he fracking retires. He just came off of a 77-point season, and he retired. Why? Pad your stats. Whatever. Robbie Fabry was not a member of the Canes. That's right. Any other former Canes on here? Nick Suzuki, briefly a Hurricane. Actually, for a couple seasons. If I remember correctly. Yeah, for 3. He was a Cane for 2 full seasons and was traded halfway through a season. So, he didn't have a great tenure with the Canes, but, he was there. Noah Hannafin, former Hurricane, obviously. Former Hurricane draft pick. Oh, for sure. Those are 2 names going up in the rafters. Aho and Svech. Fabro was another former Cane. It just sucks because I was kind of counting on Svechnikov wanting to re-sign. Any goalies retiring? Thatcher Demko, Ilya Samsonov, DiPietro, Georgiev. No former Hurricane goalies. I could have gotten another season out of Svech, and I was really counting on that. Svech is now a coach. No, I don't see the Canes. Oh, my QMJHL scout retired. I don't see the Canes retiring Williams' number. 3 of my AHL coaches retired. Wow. I don't. And as much as I would love to see them retire Ward's number. It's gonna make a lot of people mad, so I just like Ward did a lot of really good things and was asked to do a lot on some really terrible Hurricanes teams. And yeah, he was not good for the last. He wasn't good for quite a while after he left, or like before he left. But the Canes overworked him. But Williams hasn't had. He was never a great Hurricane. He was just always a good Hurricane. And most of his career was spent elsewhere. So I don't see the Canes retiring his number. I could see them doing it to Ward because he's the closest thing to like a career Hurricane that we've had, but not Williams. We'll sim through the draft because I do want to see if I can hire Svetch as a coach for my team. Um, we'll sim to pick 21. 21's actually a higher pick than I thought we'd get. I'm kind of disappointed. I don't have any great defensive prospects, so this Caedmon Burrows guy, the Nick Leddy comparison, I know he's a little more of a raw prospect. Yeah, 64 overall, but I do need defensive prospects. I have none currently. Like, no good ones, at least. I have a couple projects, but nothing set in stone that's solid. This is around the part where there's going to be a couple gems, right? All of the gems have been taken, other than a couple later on. Oh, why did I do potential? I'm dumb. Okay, I see a top 6 forward here. I also see a high elite goalie. ATA's 3 years. ATA's 4. Was that an Eric Stahl comparison? I think that was. We'll go with this guy, the 3-year player. Medium top 9, yeah. Yeah, but you can't retire the jersey of every former or every like possible Hall of Famer that plays for your team, you know? And I don't know, just in my opinion, I can't see Williams being one of those guys that we retire his jersey. That's just my opinion, obviously, but yeah, I just can't see it happening. I like the guy, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's done enough with the team to warrant retiring his jersey yet. And I think he's going to probably retire pretty soon, so like as much as I would love for it to happen, I just can't see us retiring his jersey. And plus, you know, he did more with LA. He won 2 cups with them. So I'm just picking whoever at this point. Most of these prospects, if not all of them, will not play in the NHL by the time I finish this. Like by the time I'm getting close to the end of this franchise mode, none of these players will make it. So I'm really just kind of picking whoever, because these drafts really don't matter to me. I will pick the gem just to say that I did. Even though he may already be gone, actually. I don't know why I did that. Why did I do this? I'm dumb. Yeah, there's no gem anymore. I may have just like messed this up. Let's see. Oh no, there is still a gem. Okay. This low elite center we'll pick. Okay. I was just dumb. Got it. 50 overall is not very good, but whatever. I can't remember if he played with anybody else other than LA in between. Because I know we traded Eric Cole a few times. Former Plymouth Whaler. Philly. Carolina, LA, Washington, and us. No, okay, so he's just played for 4 teams. Um, I don't know, man. He's one of those players that's had a good NHL career, but he has less than 800 points in the NHL throughout his career. Um, yeah, that's if Rod Brind'Amour hasn't gotten a Hall of Fame vote with over almost 1,200 points in his NHL career, there's no way that the Hurricanes are gonna retire. I can't think of his name. They're gonna retire Williams' number. I always forget to do this, so I'm just gonna do this real quick. So my AHL, I need to hire basically a new AHL head coaching staff, and I want to make Andrei Svechnikov my head coach next year. I always forget to do the scouting things too, so let me just sign all the scouts real quick, and then I'm gonna get off for the night. Because I am pretty tired, and I have a lot of work to do tomorrow, so there may not be a stream tomorrow. I might be a little busy. I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, so it's possible that the next time I talk to everybody will be Saturday. I'm just getting this done before I close the stream because I will forget. So yeah, but I mean, like, some other guy who played, I forget who it was, but a guy who played in like the 90s when hockey was easier, played. I mean, I guess Brind'Amour did too, but like this guy retired way before Brind'Amour, if I recall correctly, and made the Hall of Fame, and Brind'Amour hasn't yet. And he had like around the same amount of points. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and I don't know. But regardless, thank you for watching. I'm still really upset that Svechnikov retired, but we'll figure it out. We'll make it happen. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys